Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today I am coming to you with some 5-star predictions. I've had my channel now for more than 3 years, and I don't think I have ever done a 5-star predictions video, which is insane. But today I will be sharing 14 books from my shelves that I think I will give 5 stars. Either I've loved the authors before, I've heard so much about it and I will love the story, or I just have a feeling. So I'm going to talk you through these books, and then once I have completed all 14 of these, I'm not giving myself any sort of timeline, but I will come back to you and tell you how well I did. And then after that, I'll do another 5-star predictions, and it'll just go from there. I, again, don't have any timeline, but once I finish them, we'll go through them. So let's start. We're first going to start with non-adult books, so middle grade and YA. The first is a middle grade, The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. I very recently acquired this, and my friend Molly, who I was with when I bought it, said it's really good. Or actually, maybe she hadn't read it, but she'd heard people say that it was really good. And I feel like it's just going to be such a sweet book, almost like the one only Ivan-esque, and I think I could really enjoy it. So that's my first 5-star prediction. Next is a YA, and it is by an author that I've loved before, and I've heard that this one is her best. So this is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. I have read I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys and loved it. Gave it 5 stars. But I've heard that this one is her best. Better than any of her others. So I'm going into this with very high hopes and hoping I give it 5 stars. Okay, another author I have read from and given all of her books 5 stars, maybe, is Abby Jimenez. And this is Life's Too Short. Is this the only book by her that I haven't read? And I could be an Abby Jimenez completist? Wow, that'd be awesome. But this is like the third in her The Friend Zone series, which her series are very like more so companion novels. You don't have to read any of them in a super particular order, but I like to, just because then you get little Easter eggs and characters who return, and it's fun to see them. So anyway, I want to read this one, and I think I'll give it 5 stars. Another romance that everybody is loving lately is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I can't believe I haven't read this yet. When I first picked it up, I wanted to read it immediately, but I haven't for some reason. I have loved Emily Henry in the past, and I have also not enjoyed Emily Henry in the past. People We Meet on Vacation is not a book for me, but I loved Book Lovers. I loved Happy Place. Book Lovers was 5 stars. Happy Place was maybe 4.5, but I've heard that this one rivals Beach Read for people, which I've never read Beach Read, but I think because I love Book Lovers, I would love Beach Read, and I will love Funny Story. So hoping it'll be 5 stars. Moving on to some mystery and thrillers. It's hard for me to give a mystery thriller 5 stars because I feel like it needs to be unique, and so many tropes or twists in mystery and thriller books aren't unique. So these I think will be different enough that I will give them 5 stars. The first is The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. I think I will enjoy this one because music is involved, and it's about a ransom note on a violin. I don't know. I've heard really, really phenomenal things, and I think I'll like it. Then, one that, swept the world. It won the mystery thriller category 2 years ago, and then its sequel won the mystery thriller category last year. We've got The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I have never read anything by Freida McFadden, but I think I could really like it, just because of things I've heard about her books. And one thing, when I rate my thrillers, I take into account their page-turner-iness. Those aren't words, but just how fast I can read them and how much they make me want to pick them up. So I've heard good things, and I think I could like it. And lastly, going for a sweet mystery is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I've heard such phenomenal things and I think I will love it. It is going to be sweet and I've heard devastating because you follow old people and they solve murders and they're so funny and crotchety. But then you also learn to love these characters, and I've heard that the author does some mean things to the characters later on in the series, which makes you cry, but I love getting to know characters super well, and I think this could be a great first installment in a series for me that I will love the characters and what they do. I think it'll just be like A Man Called Ove-esque, but with thrilling things. So hopefully it'll be 5 stars. All right, moving on to some more general fiction, I guess I would say. We've got The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow was my favorite book of 2022, and I haven't read anything else by Gabrielle Zevin, but I've heard that this is about an old man who runs a bookstore, and I think I could love it. Then, kind of one that's maybe a little iffy because I've only ever read one by this author, but this is Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club by J. Ryan Stradall. The first book I read by him was The Lager Queen of Minnesota, and it was just so perfect for me because I'm from Minnesota, and it was about a woman making beer. It was just wholesome and great and dealt with real topics with an awesome setting. So this one, I believe, is similar in that it takes place in Minnesota and dealing with a husband and wife duo who are going through some things. So I've loved his writing in the past and I hope to enjoy this one as well. Another author I've only read one from, but I loved it. It was a 5-star, almost my best book of last year, and I have not read her. I think this is her debut. Yep, this is her debut. A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. I absolutely loved Evil Eye. It dealt with depression and a young mother who couldn't figure out her life, and it just hit me in many ways. And so I've heard that this one is similar in the way it hits you emotionally, but just covers different topics. And it looks like we've got a dual timeline. I think I'm going to love it. Next up, we have Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult. I used to always say Picoult, and then somebody said it was wrong, but now I don't know how to say it. Mad Honey by Jodi Picoult and Jennifer Finney Boylan. This is being added to my 5-star predictions because of a friend's recommendation. My friend Alexa read this book and loved this book, and I think I could too. I've read other books by Jodi Picoult and really love her writing. She writes deeply and about things that will hit you very emotionally, and I think that this one is no different, but I think that there might be like a thriller aspect to this one. Yeah, a novel of suspense, an unforgettable love story, and a moving and powerful exploration of the secrets we keep and the risks we take in order to become ourselves. I'm excited, and I think it could be a winner for me. One more general fiction. This one is a 5-star author, and I think this is the only one of his that I have not read. We've got Britt Marie Was Here by Fredrik Backman. This one I'm most nervous about for some reason, because we're just following a old woman who's a mess, but that's worked for me in the past, and I don't know why. I think that this one might be different, but I've put it off for a very long time, and I need to read it. Fredrik Backman just writes a character so wonderfully and makes their life feel so important to you for some reason. And I just love it. Anxious People was a great book. A Man Called Ove, great. And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer, even though it's the teeniest, shortest little book, is so beautiful. He just writes so well. And I'm excited to be a completist in his books as well. And lastly, we have some historical fiction. This is an author I have really loved in the past, and I can't believe I haven't read this one by her. This is The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. She mostly writes war historical fiction. The one I just read was taking place in 1906 in San Francisco, right during the Earthquake, and she co-authored that with Janie Chang. But this one, I believe, is, yeah, World War II. Oh, and the Great War. So it's a dual timeline, 1947 and 1915, which makes me think I will love this doubly as much because I just love a war-based historical fiction. And she always writes women at the forefront in those wars, and it's just, they're phenomenal stories. The Rose Code, I think, was my favorite by her. The Huntress was a close second. Anyway, I'm excited for this one. And lastly is a more recent addition to my shelves, and I've heard that it is people's favorites of 2024 so far. This is The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. I think it'll be a 5-star for me because of what everybody else says, but it's about a powerful woman in 1789 who is a midwife, and she defies the legal system and writes herself into American history. I love a strong female character, and when it's based on a real person, it just is even more powerful. So, looking forward to this one. Anyway, those are the 14, and once I read them all, I'll check back and let you know how well I did in predicting if these will be 5-star reads for me. Let me know what you think I should start with, and did I pick some good ones? I think I did. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye.